Hey, it's Paul with LSPData, and in this video I wanted to walk you through how to pull pre-foreclosure data from our platform. So once again, we just revamped our entire platform and wanted to show you how quickly it is to identify off-market properties, right? And for many of you, that's kind of what, whether you're doing wholesaling or just a general real estate investor, I think this is going to be very helpful and very timely, right? So I guess just to step back, if you are unfamiliar with what are pre-foreclosure documents, right? I would always suggest go through your own county, right? In this case, whether it's Harris County or Dallas, right? Which the ones I'm going to cover, but you get a pretty good idea of what does this all mean, right? Obviously, like I mentioned in other videos, every county has a lot of instrument types, right? Just like when you purchase a property, you get a deed of trust, right? When you're doing refinancing or other types of loan modification, there's a modification, right? For loan or mortgage, right? There's things like list pendants, right? Which I always talked about as well. I mean, there's tax liens, like there's all sorts of liens, right? But obviously you have to understand your own market, right? And a lot of experienced real estate investors know this and they know where the source of this information comes from. But I wanted to step back and just kind of, maybe ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, leverage those tools for you. And especially if you're doing remote deals, right? If you're not physically in that county, I think this does a pretty good job in contextualizing or explaining what are some of the relevant county instrument types. A lot of times they call them instruments or document types. So in this case, for Harris County, right, a lot of them is notice of trustees or sales, or notice of substitute of trustees or sale. A lot of times that just means that the person, maybe stop paying mortgage, so the bank becomes the new grantee. And anyway, so wanted to give you this as an example of documents, instruments type to look for, because then that makes it a little bit easier for you to get that context that you're interested in and jump into our platforms, right? So using that same one, right, those same document types, we can jump into Harris County, right? And here we're making it super easy for you. And as you can see, this is what I mean. Those county documents, like you mentioned, right? So if we go back here, there's a couple of them, right? Notice of trustees sell, substitute trustee, right? Some liens, list pendants, HOA, right? So if you come here, you'll see a lot of those documents, right? And again, we're pulling a lot of them. So either you can appointment of trustee, bankruptcy, you can multi-select a lot of them, right? And let's look for list pendants, right? So you can click here. And as you can see, those are, this is updated pretty frequently, right? But if you wanted to see a quick example, one that I pulled earlier, right? For example, we can do, let's search for this person's name real quick. I don't want to show too much of that information, right? But as you can see, this matches as well what we have. And obviously we're doing a lot of the heavy work in aligning the actual property address and that sort of thing, which again, if you're doing this in a manual process, that this takes time and you're going to have to go through opening documents, right? And reading the PDFs and that sort of information. And again, we're also adding other information as well that can give you context in what's happened historically, right? But at this point, these properties are 100% close to foreclosure, right? So that's what we call it pre-foreclosure, because it's before it happens. And if I was you, you can also maybe ask, tell me how much time I have to reach out to the property owners before a foreclosure takes place with these document types. So basically, again, I made some videos in the past to give you an idea of what happens when there's a loan modification, what happens, because obviously a lot of when people talk about distressed properties, a lot of times we're talking about situation or things, right? And there's a lot of life events that happen, but here, basically, well, a lot of those, it's going to be pretty instant. For a lot of the other ones, right, you have may have a couple of months, right? So if you're trying to help someone in a difficult situation, maybe help them with taking over the loan or just giving the homeowners options. This may give you a bit of context. And obviously, in my opinion, a lot of you don't know how to deal with certain situations or how to speak to homeowners, right? Or even having those sales skills, right? So maybe use these tools, like these AI tools, to give you a bit of a script, right? And how to handle the situations. So that way you also don't sound like you're reading a script, right? Or you don't sound very empathetic, right? Because again, we're providing you with accurate data, but it's really up to you. If you lack the sales skills, right? Maybe you're not meant to do cold calling, right? So maybe that's when you hire virtual assistants or someone who actually knows how to do it, right? And again, I'm going to sound a bit critical, but a lot of you are pulling data and you're not getting any success, but it's not because of the data. It's because you literally don't have any skills in talking to people. So maybe work on those sales skills, right? Get a bit of help from this AI tools, right? Especially depending on the situation, because every homeowner is dealing with different, issues, right? Life events that happen. So they don't need you to just say, are you selling your house, right? Help them in that situation, right? Again, be understanding, be empathetic, but really learn how to work on your sales skills, right? Just like I'm making these videos, just when I jump in Zoom calls over times, with practice, you get better at, selling or being persuasive. So a bit of a tip there, long-winded one, but wanted to, just show you that, it's easy as going here and selecting those, right? Let's say you have no idea what those documents mean, right? Well, we made it super easy for you, all right? And what you can do here is just go here and select yes to county pre-foreclosures. And again, we made it super easy to filter on some of those document types that I talked about. So in this case, the document types that we believe are related to pre-foreclosures are already selected, right? And if you want to make it easy, what we've done here is, let's say you select the pre-foreclosures, right? Now we're interested in, say, looking for single family properties, which that's what you may be focusing on, right? The other thing you could do is, let's say if you're doing individuals, so you want to talk to individuals, you're skip tracing, you're sending mailers, right? You can also select company. It just means that the owner could be an LLC or a corp or a trust, right? But in this case, let's say you are interested in pre-foreclosures, single family properties, right? Or you can select the other ones as well. There can even be mobile homes, etc. And ownership type is individual, right? Whether you care about absentee ownership and that sort of thing, we can also do, let's say, the person's doing an absentee owner, right? It makes it easier, and this brings the document count down, right? Another interesting thing that we added, especially if you're not familiar with specific, cities, right? We're working on this map feature here, right? And it may make it easy for you to visualize it. So if you're not familiar, say, with Houston, right? But you know that you want to, you read about the loop, right? 610 loop, which is here, right? Let's say you're interested in this area here, right? And the developing areas are growing and that sort of thing, right? This is going to give you a pretty good indicator of, the zip code, right? So this is 77026, right? So in the future, we're going to add the ability for you to come here and do a bit of filtering, right? This is still a work in progress, but at least this is going to limit, those particular properties. But as you saw, this general zip code is 77026, right? So what we can do now is come here, and maybe you're interested in that general area or that general zip code. So we can select, that 77026, right? And click search. So this is going to filter down those results. So if we switch to table, as you can see, all of them are in this zip code, right? And again, it's as simple as just selecting an export, right? So you can export all the records that show up. We have a limit of 2,500 per export, and you can export to CSV or Excel, right? You can also, if you have this checked, right, the next time you log in, you export records, is going to exclude the ones you already exported. So that makes it easy to not have any duplicates, right? So again, this is part of all the feedback that we got from our existing customers and we've implemented now. So in this case, you can export CSV or as with Excel, right? I just want to show you this because I didn't exclude anything. Just wanted to show you that you're going to get all the relevant information here as well, right? So I guess pretty easy in my opinion. And the other thing that we've done is if you're viewing this, right, and maybe this looks too stuffy, right? Maybe you're not really interested in looking at this additional information. So what you can do here is you can remove some of those and just make it easy. Maybe if you're interested in looking at specific views here, right? Just to make it easy. And maybe you're trying to access just, where are those properties located, right? And maybe quickly glance at those, right? And again, super simple, right? The other bits that maybe I'll jump into another county just to show you more examples. Let's jump into Dallas County, right? So again, similar thing. Normally you would find this type of documents here, right? And again, a lot of these documents, you can match them with the county clerks as well. So in this case, let's say I already explained what the pre-foreclosures were. Let's set those to yes, right? Let's say, there's a lien affidavit, right? There's a loan modification from the 12th, right? I'm gonna quickly grab a maybe first name here, and we're gonna search for it here, Duarte. And as you can see, there's the name here, right? So all that to say is, and you can see it's a modification as we can see here, just to show you again the timeliness and the accuracy. And again, you could do all this on your own, or just trust that we did all the heavy lifting, right, and got all that information from our own sources. So again, the other bit that I wanted to show you was, let's say you are interested in county foreclosures. This county dates this is the recorded date, right? So again, if you're logging into our platform on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, we're giving you that this recorded county date, right? And if you look at Harris County, right, county date as well. So just makes it easy for you. If you wanted to schedule this export, you can also do that. So let's say you were interested in setting up a foreclosure, right? You could set up a new one, a weekly foreclosure Dallas, right? Let's say you wanted to do it every on the weekly basis, right, or daily for the last 7 days. You can come down here, and there is this particular one. We're still improving it. Let me show you real quick in Harris County. I believe this one has it. So daily or weekly foreclosures, Harris County. So this is what we're adding to all of them. Say you're interested in grabbing the last 7 days, right? Like I mentioned, you can also do, ownership type, individual, right? Some of those, what we talked about with the foreclosure, maybe you're interested in a specific document types, right? But if you want to just make it easy, you just do foreclosures and coming down here. And again, you can, as you set this schedule to send you an emails, you can always exclude any new emails that come up, right? But let me see, let's test this out real quick. So let's say we want to do the last 7 days. We save the schedule, and then we're gonna run it, right? So while this runs, again, Dallas, right? Looked at the same thing, county for pre-foreclosures. Maybe you want to just get the last 30 days worth of pre-foreclosures because you want to, reach out to the most recent ones, right? You can do that. And again, we're just trying to make it easy for you to also visualize it, especially if you are an out-of-state, investor, right? You may not be familiar with all of the areas in those counties. And again, we're improving this mapping feature so that way you can easily, draw and filter that way. But yeah, just wanted to show you some of those sort of improvements that we made, and just to show you how easy it is to log in, get your data, and then obviously start marketing, right? In the future, what we want to do is being able to set up some exports directly to maybe your a lot of you use specific CRMs, right? So maybe GoHighLevel, Podio, or any others that you're doing, maybe potentially Salesforce, right? Just to make it easy for you to pull these records maybe directly to your CRM. But yeah, just wanted to kind of highlight some of those features, right? And just show you how easy it is to pull these records, right? And let me give you an example of some of those. Here you go. So now I got the email here, right? So you get an email like this. I think this one we had excluded some, and that's why. But yeah, we're getting those exports as well here. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and wanted to remind you again, if you are interested in signing up, LSPData.io, right? You're gonna have to create an account first. If you are interested in us giving you a demo, we can jump on a 30-minute Zoom call and we can walk you through it. Otherwise, you can always sign up for a free 7-day trial. So here, once you log in, once you access here, there's going to be a sign up now, set up an account, and then after that, under services, you can decide if you want to sign up with Preforeclosures, right? We have this different types of subscriptions, right? So you can either do specific counties, specific state, which give you access to all the counties that we have available. And then we also have a nationwide, which we're still growing and developing, right? So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, but otherwise, thank you for watching.